All right. Hey guys, this is Igor, and I'm with our lead game designer Milo.
Hello.
We are kind of showing off the gameplay of the PAX build that we demoed at PAX. This is a very limited pre-alpha build. A lot of the environments are done, but for this particular case, we're only showcasing two different maps as part of a very limited quest arc. This build also doesn't show the character building or the spell crafting that we have in mind for the game, but does have four preset builds, I believe.
Yes. 3 weapons and 1 Magura.
Okay, yeah, and the Magrite will have four different spells.
Yes.
Yeah. Going into this build, we're going to start in Act 2. You want to explain a little bit more about Act 2? Okay, that would be a no. So basically, Act 2 starts with a quick intro. This is our dialogue system. We're going to skip through it real quick just to set up the map. Right. So Act 2 will show off the strategic map, this map. As you can see here, some of the different territories are marked. So the purple one is currently held by the rebels. The blue ones are currently held by the claimants. These are the two different factions that you will have to fight in our game. And your faction is the red one here, the loyalists. So zooming back in. For this particular build, we have two different quests set in Lankara and Dresden, the two closest regions to our initial starting capital, and they will have different quests. They will also have different effects on the main quest line depending on which one you choose. So going to Lankara first, well, we're just going to give it away because we know. But going to Dresden, you have to go there to save somebody, and going to Lankara first also opens up a few different options there, and choosing the right one or the wrong one will basically either allow you to help the guy at Dresden or either get him killed. And there's a couple different options and nuances to that, but for the sake of this playthrough, we're just going to try to simplify it.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Dresden first because they have a caster there and I find the combat to be more interesting. However, if I had gone to Lankara, the combat in Lankara would have more reinforcement, so that combat would be more challenging than it would be otherwise. But then the combat in Dresden would also not have the reinforcements, making that combat with the caster more easier. In this game, everything that you do on the strategic map will take time, including movement about it, and time can affect the quests as well as trigger new events and stuff like that.
So actually, by going to Dresden first, you're heading off the enemy that you have otherwise faced in Lankara.
Yes, I'm actually making the combat more difficult for myself.
Yeah.
In an effort to save the day.
Yes. And also get to see, mages fight it out.
Yes.
So after you select thing, you'll go to the objective marker and activate the quest that will lead you to the tactical map. Oh, and this is a kind of like a brief look at how we're doing the choices and the personality system. And so you can see here you can have three options: wisdom, hedonism, and empathy. And actions are rated on a personality plot that will rate you on three different axes. The actions aren't completely binary, so doing something might be negative wisdom or positive wisdom, but at the same time push you towards empathy or hedonism. And where you are within that plot will actually affect how characters will react and how the story will unfold. Milo playing the nice guy for once. Do you want to survey the map a little bit? We can actually move around the map using the WASD keys.
We can also rotate it.
There you go. Turn the transparency off. There we go. So this is the enemy spawn. The person in the leather armor right there is going to be the enemy caster, and the UI right now will change a little bit for as we kind of iterate everything, but right now we are showing the enemy character and their builds here. Going back to our side of the map and our party, you can see that we are really outnumbered, but Milo should be pretty good at this game by now.
We hope.
We hope. But yeah.
Yes, I could go through some examples of build.
Yeah.
This is Tavius. He is the main character. If he dies, you basically lose. He cannot die. All the other characters can die, and we have permadeath. So if the characters die, you permanently lose those characters. Tavius is a caster, as at least the way we built him here. He is a caster. He has two types of Magurite. He has the thermal Magurite, and he has the spirit Magurite. In this case, I'm going to be using, I guess, let's try Deep Freeze. It casts a duration freeze spell in this location.
Actually, go through how that spell would have been. Oh, he is going to cast that on us. Oh, also, as you can see, the cover is destructible.
Okay, so the color coding here is just simply to indicate the movement costs. So moving to blue is just a single move action. Moving to yellow would be a double move, so it uses your standard action and your move action. It's similar to something that you would see in Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons. The green is a quick action. It's basically meant to be a small, simple action or a small move.
Yep, like a shift, and you would use the quick actions not only to save your movement stuff, but also to avoid, thread squares, attacks of opportunity. Ooh, explain that.
Okay. So if you notice that as you moved across the corners, that the ice actually did damage to them. That was not intentional, but because of the way it does the calculations for effects, technically when he moved diagonally, he did pass through that square, so it triggered the effect. It made for some interesting mechanics, but we will probably end up removing that from the game because it's a bit inconsistent with how we originally designed it.
And it's heavily abusable.
Yes.
Well, as you can see, this guy is basically almost dead because he had to cross the corner twice. If you mouse over there, I believe you can kind of see the corner. Not really, but yeah, walking through it, he crossed the corner once and then twice. That's double damage just by walking around that guy.
Even more abusable is actually the healing.
Oh,
if you have one of your characters stand in the healing, another character can use two actions to circle around him, and he will heal 4 times.
So that's why we'll probably have to talk about removing it because I personally like it. Okay, so whose turn is it? Dale. Actually, off to a really good start. With those guys basically killing themselves. Oh, I would explain
right now, the character cannot move across the bridge because he doesn't have any abilities that allows him to move through occupied squares. There are some general abilities that will allow that, but it's not a default condition. So this is wind up. It is a quick action, so it's considered a small, simple thing, and simply increases his initiative, making him go more frequently. Generally speaking, if you have the ability, it tends to be good just to use it. And that'll be the end of this turn. Cool. Okay. So now that I drained magic with my last spell, my Magurite is full, so I'm no longer able to drain anymore, but I can expel, so I'll be doing Fireball. Now, Fireball is an area effect, has a radius of 2 beyond the first square. In the actual game, you will be creating your own spells, but for this particular build, we just use pre-generated spells because not all of the effects and special effects are completed.
Oh, and actually, like for the fireball itself, well, we still some of the mechanics are kind of like built, I suppose. And to make that spell, you still had to put in those parameters.
Yes.
You got to put the
I
damage.
still designed this spell as if I would create it because the basic concept and mechanical structure is there. Just not all the effects are finished. Right now I have one charge in my Maggoret, so I can use another fireball. And given how clumped up they are here, it seems like a good idea.
I remember back when that fireball used to be a lot more powerful.
Yeah, we had to adjust the damage.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna block that bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, our tank can move forward now. And so that cost a standard action.
Yes, basically increases his combat effectiveness, primarily defensively though.
It's a her, by the way. We do not show booby breastplates for our game.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's Mongolia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. Yeah, the dagger is a thrown weapon, so that means I can reach from here.
Yeah, let's go see what we got out of the fight at this rate.
Well, there's reinforcements coming from over here.
Oh, right.
We'll be fighting with them.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, so far we're off to a pretty good start. Better than usual.
Although the mall guy did just land a decent hit on our tank. Well, commander, our bodyguard character.
The maul is a reach weapon. It can attack from 2 squares away. And with this build, it also has knockback, so it has a chance of knocking the characters back.
Oh, just fell short.
Well, because it's flasher, a lot of people actually seem to like the fireball. But mechanically speaking, the ice tends to be more effective because of the duration effect, and so it acts as an area control. It also does a little bit higher damage to a single target.
Oh, nice. One down.
As you notice that some of the builds go more frequently than others, such as the dagger goes a lot more often than the longsword. That's because different builds have different initiatives, depending on how they build.
Oh wow, 2 down already.
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Better than usual.
Yeah.
Okay, but they may be beyond my caster's range now.
No, it should still be in range. Yeah, just barely.
Oh, that's nice. That should kill one, hopefully.
Nice.
Got one more.
Oh, we got the caster. We got Eberyn.
No, Eberyn's right here.
Oh.
Oh, was that Eberyn? No, this.
No. That's.
Oh, I did kill Eberyn.
That's the no, Eberyn's not removed the turn order yet.
Yeah, it hasn't updated the turn order till the end of the turn.
Yeah. Nice. That's our biggest threat out of the way.
Yeah.
Almost never happens. Wow.
That makes things a lot easier.
Now we're not pinned against the on our side of the bridge anymore. We can just go there and chase them down if we really want to. But
so the Maul guys with their build also have an attack of opportunity, which means they tend to be best for area control and defensive rather than offensive.
oh, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but our starting party size was 4. But given that we reached Dresden really quickly, we were able to actually save Medeo, and in the story, he ends up joining our party. And the way we write the story is that, like Milo said, every character is expendable and every character has permadeath. So
if you don't save him, you won't get him.
Yeah.
And if he dies, even if you save him and then he dies, you still don't have him after.
And you end up losing a good chunk of dialogue, and yeah, but all worth it, I think. Careful of the ice. There you go. Nice. Well, he resisted bleed though.
Yeah, but you still put the damage. Bleed is like bleed in most games where you just take the damage at the beginning of each turn. But bleed in our game decrements, so every turn it gets a little bit weaker until it disappears.
We're doing pretty well, but we have a couple guys injured. We might as well show off some of the other stone.
The spirit magic?
Yes. Yeah. Especially if you're gonna hold that choke point over there.
Yeah. As I mentioned before, people tend to like the fireball, and so they tend to use the thermal. But the more we played with it, the more we realized the spirit tends to be more effective. It's debuffing and healing, so it's not as flashy and it doesn't deal damage directly, but it does tend to work better. He's still stuck.
Yeah. So we can use the. There you go.
Oh.
Well, yeah, using full turn action activated his. Yeah. Oh, wow.
He's my guy's almost. That guy's hurt.
Yeah.
So we can change to a secondary weapon with this. In the actual game, every character will be able to equip secondary weapons, but in this one, only Tavius has the secondary. We didn't want to complicate it too much for people just jumping into the middle of it during the demo.
And so the healing pool there is another example of a duration spell, and it will stay there for a couple phases, and
it will heal anybody that comes through it, and it will heal anybody in the square at the start of the caster's turn.
That includes enemies, by the way. Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Turn off the transparency.
I did. We can turn it back on. I just like seeing the map. Like our maps are actually looking pretty good, if I have to say so myself.
No bias.
No bias. Oh, he is gone. Oh, he's stuck.
Yeah. Okay, so this is an example of one of the bugs that's in the alpha build. When we did the AI, if the AI is not able to perform any action, we do not have any mechanic for it to automatically end its turn. Since the character cannot attack, he cannot perform an action because this character right here is in too close, blocking him, and is not at the correct range for him to be able to attack him.
It's actually really interesting because we've only seen this happen. This is the second time we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Since PAX.
Fortunately, it never happened in PAX.
Yeah. Well, that is a shame. So we're probably going to cut it here. Okay. With that cut, actually, I think this is the perfect opportunity to showcase the other map. So we're going to cut it here for this video. We're going to upload the other battle on a separate video if you guys want to check that out. Alright, thanks so much.